Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's Natalie. Hello my friends. I am playing with this gorgeous Tracey Hey stamp set today. It is called Let It Be and it's so cute. I am picking off a couple of the different hexagon hexagon shapes that have, there's some writing in it, there's some squirrels, there's some love hearts, and I'm going to use some VersaFine clear ink. We've got Morning, Fresh and Cheerful, and we're going to stamp all those down. I'm going to cut this sort of a little bit short because you don't need to see me fluffing about with it and playing around with it. And I'm going to fill up this corner with, I think I use about 6 or 7 different hexagons between the small ones and the large ones. Some of them are going to be, there's one of them that's going to be a little bit hidden, but that's okay. I wasn't too sure what I was planning and what I was going to deal with when I did this. So this stamp set is so cute. I've fallen in love with Tracey Hey, and I'm looking forward to getting some more, but there is a couple of different images in this set. There's a little bee, there's a little rhino that's dressed up, there is some elephants, kangaroo. I think she has a soft spot for us Aussies. Just saying, because I've seen a couple other ones where there's like koalas and everything else. I just love it. There's lots of little sentiments here. We'll come back to that in a minute. For my black, we're using W7 and W5 and going down to a W3. This is all going to be my black. So coloring is relatively simple because I think I have pretty much 2 colors. But we can do a little bit of work with pencils as well. The sentiments we have are sweet as can be, let it be, just because, which is the one we're going to be using today, and absolutely buzzing. And the last one is you're the bee to my honey. I love it. I love it. When I recently went over to England, I actually ordered some of these before I left, thinking it was going to take a little while, but it was so super quick. I couldn't believe it. And they got sent to my aunt's house. It's probably about time that we need to talk about and catch up. Last time I mentioned it, I said that, and I forgot to mention it again, since we've been back, it's been pretty crazy. It has settled down a little bit. Here we've got the BV00, YR23, Y26 and Y13, and I'm going to use a little bit of R30 in his ears just to give it that little pink feeling. And I just thought he was really cute to have, the whole colour go the whole way through. I just thought it was cute. Anyway, so my dad had surgery. He's doing well. The funny but not funny part that we mentioned in another video was the fact that the day after we got back, we went to pick up a couch. I had to get a trailer from Bunnings, which is just like your home, I suppose your Home Depot. I don't know. I suppose Home Depot, you can hire trailers for, a couple of hours sort of thing. And he stepped off the trailer, the A-frame of the trailer, and heard a click and broke his foot. Thankfully enough, it was not while we were away, because we arrived very, very early on the Friday morning, like really, really early, and he did it Saturday afternoon. So, but they're both doing well and getting around a lot better, so it's all good. It's just like, seriously, as I said, it could have been a lot worse. He could have broken it while we were away. That would have been really annoying. And not annoying because what are you going to do about it? Nothing you can do about it. Just go with the flow. But it certainly would have put a dampener on the trip. So yeah, so we've been back for a little while now, settling back into the routine of everything. It was a bit crazy once we got back after, jet lag and everything else, but it's doing well. So my cousin, if you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. I'm super excited to sort of say that we've just hit 1,000 subs. So it's been a long time in the process. Yeah, some people do it a lot quicker, but I haven't. I've just hit that 1,000 and I'm so excited and stoked. Anywho, I digress. So we went over to England for 6 weeks. We weren't there fully for 6 weeks, but we were over in England for my cousin got married. My dad is the youngest of 4, and my cousin who got married is what did I say? He's the eldest of 4. And my cousin that got married, her father is the youngest, so there's quite a bit of age gap between us. So we'll come back to that. I brought in some pencils. We have the sepia, the Prismacolor sepia. You can see the numbers there on the screen, and chocolate. And I'm just deepening my shadows that little bit more. It's also going to provide a little bit of a texture. I don't know why I don't do this more often, honestly, because I really quite like pencils. I've gotten a bit out of practice with my pencils a little bit, but we've got a few coming up with playing with pencils. So anyway, we went over to England for that and to see family that I haven't seen for quite a while. I had to go and close some doors. Anyway, so we went over there and saw them and travelled around a fair bit. The weather was lovely. We went over to Dublin, where the weather turned quite a fair bit cooler, but we've had some fun with what do they call it? Chat GBT. Is that the right way of saying it? I don't know. And we put in the phone about drives to do when it's wet, and they came out some really, really good things, so I very much recommend trying that. On my wings we've got BV00 and RV00. I am with BG10. I'm just going to do some flicks. The BV and RV, I'm just going to dab and do a little bit of stippling here and there for a bit of texture and a bit of fun, and just soften those. I was a little bit heavy-handed. My image is now all cut out. I'm using a black marker just to go around the edges, it just finishes it off. I am going to colour I'm going to deepen I just felt it needed a little bit. Deepen my hexagons with the yellows are going to be pumpkin orange. You got the numbers there, yellow ochre and deco yellow. And they're going to be the same colours I'm going to use on all the hexagons. So for example, this particular one that I just did just before, I have made it a little bit more rounded. Like you've got the top one that is stamped in grey, and he looks rounded because he looks like he's wrapped around it. But if you look at the one down the bottom, it's just got that little bit more definition. And just going through on the corners of each of those. And I'm going to do a very similar thing with the greys very shortly. Yes, we did that. I met up with a crafty friend that I met through a design team that I was on. We're both now not on that team, but we're stayed friends. And yeah, I met her for the first time, so that was really fun, a little bit different. She was quite surprised that we drove, I can't think of how long it was. I think it was 2 hours from Dublin to Limerick, I think. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. And she was quite surprised. But it's like, we're Australian. We're used to, a lot of people do that quite often. Not me. I'm not that way inclined, but do that quite often with just getting to work in cities like Sydney and that sort of stuff. So we're a little bit used to that compared to the English peeps and that. So for my greys, I'm using a warm grey. I've got 70 and 50%. And again, just highlighting the corners and just trying to add a little bit more definition into these gorgeous stamps. From Dart Island, we went back over to Chester, or I should say England, and Chester. We had a couple of nights there. We went up to Hadron's Wall and just explored and just tried to chill a little bit. With this image, I just cut out the circles. So we're just adhering those down. I'm going to use a pen very shortly and fill those back in. My little bee is going to be raised up. I think my sentiment is flat. And then over there we went back down to London, met up with my aunt again, and over to Europe. We were about to celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary, so we figured, well, we have to do this. I'm going around the edges here just an ever so tiny little bit with pumice stone, and I've got some yellow cardstock from Stamping Up. I don't actually have, I think it's Daffodil Delight, because I have some older ones. And it's just, as you can see there, the pumice stone around the edges is just going to frame that beautifully. So we had some lovely time just catching up with family. It's been way too long. It's, everyone's getting older. We're not a bunch of kids anymore. But it was good fun. There was only really, we'll talk about Europe in another video. There was only really the one cousin that unfortunately I could not catch up with. She is a chaplain in the army, and I think she is over. She just got sent over to Peru. I'm not too sure about that one. She got sent somewhere. So unfortunately, I did not get to see her. I've adhered my sequins down a little bit of glue, and I've just got a glaze pen with glaze. I love them. Glaze pens, the longer you press the nib, the thicker the dot, and it has a very slight little bit of definition, a little bit of dimension to it. That's the word. That's my card for today. I hope you're well. Take care. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.